Hello you, I'm Guru Larry, and I welcome you to Final Fantasy Legends 2. Forget what it was called for a second there. So anyway, hopefully this is the episode where we actually make some meaningful progress, huh? I mean, not that anybody cares, but at least for me and my sake, I care at least somewhat, and I want progress in my Let's Plays. Yeah, so, our main character turned into a lizard off screen. Is looking very Yoshi-esque, I guess, kind of. Remember in the Super Mario Bros. Super cartoon when Yoshi says, "Funabunga"? That's not his catchphrase. Stupid cartoon people. So anyway, one of those disgusting tavern people said that in order to solve the desert maze, we have to go 7 to the right and then 5 down, I think, after we get to the cactus. But then we also keep getting disrupted by these battles, so you tend to lose your bearings. That was always a common criticism of a certain smelly internet man, that RPGs disrupt your progress with random battles, and then when it comes back, you don't know where to go. I suppose that argument does have some merit to it. But overall, Sequelitis is just boring and pointless and dumb, and you shouldn't watch it. Any kind of YouTube gaming opinion show is just a waste. Poor old YouTube's gotta dedicate server space to all this garbage. Some 9-year-old's 6-hour-long Minecraft Let's Play where you can't even understand him, and "Hey everybody, let's play some Minecraft, hey. I got a C plus on my math test the other day." I don't fucking know. 99.9% of everything on YouTube is just junk. Even this. Maybe someday there will be a competitor to YouTube, and maybe they'll have actual standards in order to keep people like me out. If such a website ever came by, I think they would be quite successful. YouTube, but with standards. Okay, so it's kinda hard to make any progress because the game's moving you against your will, and the battles can still happen whenever you move a certain amount of spaces. So suffice to say, we have lost complete and total control over this game. We are at the mercy of the Desert Storm. I'm sure people in Iraq probably said something similar to that. Hey look, I found it. Wow, look at that. The magic of editing. Well, I'll be damned. The Game Boy can't render the whole town at once. You see that shit? There's too many tiles for the Game Boy's simple processor. So, speaking of the Game Boy, did you guys see that Logan Paul thing where he smashed all of those Game Boys for an art project? Well, I suppose smashed isn't quite the right description of it, but either way, they're completely destroyed. I mean, I don't care too much about those sort of things, but I don't know, I just feel like in a sense that incident is perfectly emblematic of how the rich want to own things just for the sake of owning them. You're gonna take something that's meant to be played and then just make it unplayable and then put it up on display to send some kind of message about how you enjoy playing with it. It's just dumb. I don't know, I don't really, follow Logan Paul because I'm not 11 years old, but the only video of him I really ever saw was when he was at some kind of convention with Tim Dillon, and they've talked about Logan Paul having some kind of brain damage, and I can kind of tell just by listening to him. It definitely shows up in his speech patterns. That there's lots of filler as he tries to process information, lots of yawn, like Valley Girl speak, basically. But throughout all of history, there's always been celebrities out there just like him. It's not the first time some weird douche has risen to fame and fortune. Happens all the time. Things like this happen all the time. Okay, let's do a little curing before we get started on this dungeon. We do a little curing. Anywho, by chance, does anybody know if Nobuo Uematsu was the composer for this one? I know he did most of the Final Fantasy games, but this is more of a side thing. Have I already asked that? That feels like the type of question that could very easily be used to fill time in a series like this, but anywho, speaking of Nobuo Uematsu, I was listening to a podcast once where some guy went to a concert that was supposed to be like a big tribute to Nobuo Uematsu when they were going to play all the Final Fantasy compositions, and the guy who went to the concert thought they'd be like, orchestrated remixes of those songs, but they just played like the MIDIs from the PS1 and the SNES games, and people paid money to go to a public venue and listen to PS1 MIDIs. What a world. So, I was looking at the monster guide for this game to try and optimize my strategy here so that my main guy doesn't get knocked out after every single encounter. And apparently, we had the opportunity to get the best transformation in the game, and we blew it. See, what you had to do is at the very start of the game, you had to pick the baby dragon, which out of just sheer dumb luck I happened to pick, not knowing the implications of what I had chosen. And then once you get the baby dragon, you have to pass up on all the meat until you get to the were-rat, which is like 2 hours into the game. And then if you're a baby dragon and you take the were-rat's meat, and then you get a transformation into a monster that has like 200 HP. So yeah, by sheer dumb luck, I almost did that, but then again through dumb luck I happened to stumble out of it. So that is rather unfortunate, isn't it? If any experienced Final Fantasy Legends people out there are watching this, they probably saw that first episode, and when they picked the baby dragon, they thought, okay, this guy knows what he's doing. And then later that same episode, when I just threw it out, they realized, oh no, he doesn't know what he's doing. Well, that is just a darn shame. These other transformations ain't bad, though. Gosh, the way I was describing that chain of meats that you need to eat, that's just like the nerdiest thing ever. That's like something you'd hear in like a fake video game for a TV show, like in The Simpsons, where they had the Itchy and Scratchy convention, and one of the nerds said, "In the Itchy and Scratchy CD-ROM, how do you get the wizard's key in the ice dungeon?" And of course Homer was doing the panel because he was the voice of Poochie in that episode, and he said, "What the hell are you talking about?" But anyway, what that nerd said in The Simpsons and what I was saying about the meat system sounds quite similar. Yeah. So, did you guys ever watch H.C. Bailey's playthrough of Final Fantasy Legends 2? I seriously doubt that you did, but still, I found that series has been a good point of reference for what to do and what not to do. The Let's Players of old are guiding me with their ghostly advice, and I can look into decades past for people who walked this path before me in order to understand the correct path and not make the same mistakes. Am I making any sense right now? I don't feel like I'm making any sense right now. But anywho, did you guys ever hear that the guy who was the puppeteer for Elmo and Sesame Street had to step down because there were allegations made against him? I don't know, I was just looking at the lizard character, and with his reddish skin and big googly eyes almost, it kind of reminded me of Elmo on a subconscious level. But anyway, that's pretty horrible, huh? No more Elmo. Well, Elmo will be there still, but he's gonna sound different. It's like that Family Guy skit with wrong-sounding Muppets after Jim Henson died. Remember that? Kermit the Frog was all like, "Oh no, we ran out of Parmesan and junk." And okay, at this point I figured out you can swap out the party members, and that the enemies are gonna attack who's ever first in the party first. So that'll be very helpful to AVGN, because he won't just take all the attacks at once. Whoops, what am I doing? That's the wrong way, you fool. You idiot. But yes, having this guy in the lead, the tank, so to speak, is a very smart move, as you will soon see. We got a squid in the middle there. Squid in the middle. It's like Malcolm in the Middle, but Malcolm is replaced with a talking squid that's been CG'd in. He's voiced by Bobcat Goldthwait. Hi, everybody! Good old Bobcat Goldthwait. He always had such a silly voice. And he had his terrible stage fright, and he would scream, and you know how it goes. Yeah. I don't think this is the first time I've talked about Bobcat Goldthwait on this channel. It's a bit of a recurring topic. But I don't know, I can't remember what I was saying on an exact day a year and a half ago. So things might get a little repetitive here and there. Okay, new transformation. The octopus again. It's getting a little repetitive. But anyway, more Final Fantasy will come. Hang in there, baby.